Hello, this is Joyce Latimer from Virginia Tech, and today we're going to talk about the importance of application volume in PGR efficacy. So how much volume do you start with? First of all, read the label. There are recommended volumes for sprays, typically 2 quarts per 100 square feet, or for drench applications, the volume depends on the pot size. For spray applications, you must have a sufficient volume to reach or cover the target tissues. This is especially important for those that are only absorbed by the leaf surfaces. Good coverage, thorough coverage, is important for uniform growth control. There are also products like the Paclobutrazols that are taken up by stems and petioles. So after the canopy closes, it's important to use sufficient volume to penetrate the foliage to those stems. The label will typically recommend up to 3 quarts per 100 square feet. The soil active plant growth regulators are going to require uniform volume of application in order to have consistent results from one application to another or within even a single application. So what are soil active plant growth regulators? These are PGRs that are taken up by shoot and root tissues. They are more potent, they tend to have longer lasting effects, and the overspray, the excess volume that drips off those leaves, winds up in the substrate where it is taken up by the roots, so it is more active. We have quite a few different plant growth regulators that are soil active, so volume is important. If you look at application volume, if you look at the Alcea picture here, a control plant, a plant treated with 50 parts per million at the label volume, label recommended volume, 2 quarts per 100 square feet, or double that volume. You can see that we have much more growth regulation with double that volume because more of that material ended up in the substrate where it was available to those roots. Application uniformity is also critical to giving you a uniform crop. If you'll look at these hydrangeas, these were both treated with 10 parts per million sumagic. You can't have that kind of inconsistency in your crop. It all comes down to having a consistent application. Uniform application gives you a consistent crop year after year after year. Develop a consistent protocol. You can also use volume as a tool. We call these sprinches. These are high volume sprays or a hybrid of a spray and a drench. It can be used with a boom system, it can be used with a sprayer. You use this for soil active plant growth regulators. You can apply 2 to 4 times the recommended spray volume so you get more of that material into the substrate, into the root zone. You're going to use lower rates, typically 1/2 to 1/4 of your spray rate. These can be much more effective than a regular spray because of the long-lasting material in the substrate. Remember that you can only apply this in the boom irrigation for those plant growth regulators that are labeled for chemigation. So volume is very important to PGR efficacy. You must have enough volume to thoroughly cover leaves for those that are absorbed by leaves, and uniform application volume for soil active PGRs is critical to a uniform crop. But you can also use volume as an application tool. Learn to use volume in your PGR application protocols. And thanks to Fine Americas and e-GRO for sponsoring this video.